4 companies in Georgia that contract with cities and counties to help them in the collection of their taxes. We provide all of the legal research, all of the notices, post properties, cost sales, all right? We're not collectors. We'll go over the tax sale procedures real quick. I'm not going to read them exactly word for word, just sort of, I'll give you the gist of what they say. Then we'll start to proceed. We've got an ad somewhere, right? Newspaper ad. All right, the sale will be conducted in the manner of a public auction. Now, I'm not an auctioneer. I don't do all that jabber, but that is the way we're going to conduct it, okay? So if you're expecting to see that, I am truly sorry. This is a buyer beware sale. I may repeat that more than once. You need to understand that if you've never been to a tax sale, if you've never purchased tax sale property, you need to understand there are no guarantees on any of this property that's sold. It is suggested that you do not purchase property if you have not been to see the property. While I was tax commissioner in Bibb, we had a piece of property that came up. We put it up. It's a nice big size piece of vacant land. We sold it. Gentleman bought it. Well, as the day went on, he never came in and paid us. So I very politely sent the deputy sheriff out to pick him up to bring him in so that he could pay me the money he owed me. This is a binding agreement. All right, let's understand that. He said, well, I decided I didn't want to buy it. It's a hole in the ground. I said, that's not my problem. I told you before you bought it to make sure you looked at it before you bought it, know what you're buying. So if you haven't seen it, be very careful, okay? If there's a mobile home on it, if the mobile home has not been detitled to be attached to the property, the mobile home does not go with the property, right? Opening bid includes all taxes, all penalties, all costs, all fees, everything. So it may be slightly different than what you see the taxes listed for. Bidding on a piece of property is a binding agreement. This means you are entering a legal contract with the tax commissioner. When you make your bid is accepted, you have agreed to pay that money. If you don't, she can come after you legally to collect that money. The property is sold to the highest and best bidder. Now, there's one of me, and there's all of you. You're going to bid, make sure that I see you, make sure that I hear you. All of you gentlemen know our wives say we don't listen, we can't hear. We're all hard of hearing, we're all deaf. All right, so believe me, mine tells me almost every day. So make sure I know you've made a bid, okay? At the time of the bid, you will be required to show proof of identification. So we need to see your driver's license. Payment will be made within 2 hours. Within 2 hours of the close of the sale. Once I call the last piece of property and once I say, this concludes the tax sale, that's when it's closed. Tax commissioner will execute a tax deed somewhere between the next month to about 2 months. You will get a tax deed. The tax deed will be prepared by our office. It will be sent to Ms. Hollums. They'll be recorded. Once they're recorded, it'll be mailed to you. Now, if you are the successful bidder of the piece of property, you do not take possession of the property. I hope everybody understands that. You are simply purchasing the lien that the county holds on these properties. That's all you're purchasing. 12 months and 1 day from today, you can start the process called borrowing the right of redemption. That's where you foreclose that lien that you have purchased from us. That's how you then obtain title to the property. I would suggest that after you do that, you go through the quiet title process to further perfect that title. You will be responsible for any future assessments on this property that come up. All right, so while you do not take possession, the tax bill for the next year will come out in your name, so just be prepared for that. On very rare occasions, the tax commissioner does have the right to void a sale. She can void a sale within the first 30 days if she finds a problem. She can void it if she decides she just wants to void it. There are no problems. She has that right. But most of the time, they've only been voided when there's been a problem, okay? Now, most important one of all, this is not legal advice. I am not an attorney. This is 32 years of experience of doing this. That's about all I can tell you. All right.
What we're going to do is there's no bid, we'll skip it and come back to it later.
All right. Usually the Land Bank Authority is here, and he's on his way. So if we start before he gets here, if there's no bid on a piece of property, we're actually going to put it to the side, and we'll recall it once he gets here, because the Land Bank here has been good about taking those in. Any questions before I get started? All right. Well, knowledge group, they're ready to start. Okay. See here, where is it? Okay, right here. All right. Now, I will try to be as loud as I can be. Unfortunately, every courthouse was built on a main thoroughfare where there's either a railroad track or the pulpwood truck or the chicken trucks or the garbage truck goes through town. So, if I pause, I feel like I can't hear, so maybe you can hear. Okay, legal ad. I'm going to read the legal ad. This is what we do every time, and we'll get started. Spalding County, December 2017 tax sale, sheriff's sale, Miss Sylvia Hollums, ex officio sheriff, State of Georgia, County of Spalding. Under and by virtue of certain tax FIFAs issued by the Tax Commissioner of Spalding County, Georgia, in favor of the State of Georgia and the County of Spalding against the following named persons and the property as described immediately below their respective names. There will be sold for cash or certified funds at public outcry before the courthouse door in Griffin, Spalding County, Georgia, between the legal hours of sale on the first Tuesday in December 2017, the same being December 5th, 2017. The following property will be sold between the legal hours of sale, 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. The below listed and described properties or as much thereof as will satisfy the state and county tax execution on the respective individual and property. The properties hereinafter described have been levied on as the property of the persons whose names immediately precede the property description. Each of the respective parcels of property are located in Spalding County, State of Georgia. The years for which said FIFAs are issued and levied are stated below the name of the owner in each case. This is a buyer beware sale, and all property will be sold as is. The tax commissioner makes no warranty, neither expressed nor implied, as to title, and all properties are subject to all recorded covenants, easements, and right-of-ways. Properties are sold under the power of a tax sale deed with specific rights of redemption. All right? We will go in file number order. So if you have a copy of the newspaper or a list, we will go in file number order. At least I think that's the way we're doing it. All right. First up, file number 3. File number 3. I'm at the